All right, so I wanted to make a quick little video, man. I made a post earlier, man, and it stemmed from something that I seen on social media. And it's one of them things that bother me a lot, you know what I'm saying? Especially like when you talk about the black community, you know what I'm saying? We always heard the woman's side of those stories, you know what I'm saying? We always heard about how horrible our grandfathers was, how they was back there just beating the shit out of our grandmothers, and they was cheating, they was, you know what I'm saying? They was just out there just doing wild shit. But we never got the side of our grandfathers, man, and that's the thing that really bothered me, you know what I'm saying? Because we see it all the time, you know what I'm saying? Like what the sister was doing earlier was she was doing like a spoken word type of situation, and she was speaking on, you know what I'm saying, how the men be fucking up the family, you know what I'm saying? And to me it bothered me because the older I've gotten, and to sit and listen to a lot of people tell their story, even like, you know what I'm saying, I say over the last 6 months, I done heard 2 to 3 brothers tell me that they, when they got older, we talking about in their 20s, 30s, 40s, they found out that the person that they thought was their father the whole time wasn't actually their dad, you know what I'm saying? And we don't never talk about these things. But my point was going back to, we talking about in a day and age where everybody was pretty much married back then, you know what I'm saying? So we get into them bags where they talk about how bad marriage was back then, but we never really got our grandfather's side of those stories, you know what I'm saying? We heard that he had the family up the block, you know what I'm saying? We heard that, you know what I'm saying, he was beating on grandma and all this other stuff. But they never addressed the fact that almost each one of the children in the household had a different father. While she was married now, while she was married, multiple men fathered her children, and granddaddy never said shit. We never talk about that shit. Like I watch Paternity Court all the time. Like that's one of my favorite shows. When it be cases on there from the 60s. Well, this man, he been taking care of these children the whole time. Married. I'm talking about this nigga is the upstanding cat in the community. And none of the kids his. We like to get in this bag like all our forefathers, all our granddads was just these horrible niggas. But this the problem with that, you know what I'm saying? That shit don't even substantiate in the Bible. And I'm gonna prove it in the Bible. This is Ecclesiastes chapter 25. I'm gonna start at verse 19. All wickedness is but little to the wickedness of a woman. Let the portion of a sinner fall upon her. So we get into these bags, right? We hear all these stories about our forefathers and how they were just horrible people, when we never asked the questions like, why was you doing what you was doing? Like, you know what I'm saying? We see it all the time, especially in today's day and age. When we talk about today, whenever you hear a woman, her evil coming out, they always want to know, well, what did the man do to push her to do that? What did the man do to make her want to even move like that? Because women don't move like that. But we never asked them questions like, damn, so why was granddaddy down there fucking with Miss Mary? Why? Why was granddaddy down? Why granddaddy never liked Mr. Charles? Why granddaddy always had something messed up to say about Mr. Charles? Mr. Charles seemed like he never did nothing. He always come around, he be real nice. But ain't nobody ever told y'all Mr. Charles, one of them kids dead. That's why his ass always around. You never really got the answers on why Mr. Charles and granddaddy didn't get along, but granddaddy always allowed that nigga to come over. Why? If you got an issue with him, why he coming over? We never asked that question. We never asked that. We talking about marriages. We talking about people that were married. We talking about the 40s, 50s, 60s. What were we talking about? We ain't talking about no single parent households. We talking about men that was grinding. We talking about men that was working in the steel mill, working in the coal mines. We talking about working 15, 16-hour days. We talking about those men. We talking about the men that kicked off a lot of the rights and the liberties that the small little liberties that we got today. We talking about those men. We ain't talking about the riffraff, we talking about today. We talking about the niggas that was actually putting in work and grinding and trying to make sure their household was straight. They was coming in them households knowing That second baby ain't mine. But he never said nothing because back then we had a lot more decorum. We had a lot more discretion. We wasn't just putting all our business out in the street like that. You know what I'm saying? Granddaddy wasn't finna go out there and just put your mama all out there like that. But they had an understanding. Hey, I know that ain't my baby. So when I do what I do, don't say shit to me. We all know that's how it went.